You're live now.
Hello and welcome to match number 27 on the Snickometer podcast today. As last time, we're trying to do something different. We said we'd be live at 11 a.m. India time, and we are a bit late. So apologies first of all for the delayed start. We got some technical difficulties that we were working through, and yeah, one thing we won't apologize for is for what we saw in yesterday's game between the Punjab Kings and the Rajasthan Royals. Um, one of those matches where there were so many bizarre things happening, Sarvesh, that when you're watching a match and as an analyst, you sit there and think, okay, why is this team doing this? Why is this team not doing that? But just an absolute nightmare. There were at points I was pulling my hair out watching this game. Your thoughts on what transpired between the two teams?
Both teams, some questionable decisions. Starting with Punjab, I think they had some forced changes with Shikhar Dhawan not available. And people were surprised that Sam Curran walked in, but I think it was a fair call because if you remember, the management has already said, and Sam Curran has already captained Punjab. So I think based on that, I think it was a fair call to send him out as captain because we saw Jitesh Sharma in that ceremony. So people thought, he's the vice captain. So it's all started from there. People started talking what's going on and why Sam Curran is out. And after that, the Punjab's batting when it started, there were some more discussions on what's going on and why are they playing like this. And then that the typical batting order, which comes very late. The top order, the hitters, they come very late in that innings. Again, some questions were asked: why is Ashutosh Sharma not starting? Why is he kept for that number 7, number 8 spot? So many questions.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that scorecard, Punjab Kings 147 for 8 in their 20 overs. It's not the first time that a team has scored 147 in 20 overs. It won't be the last as well. But just the manner in which things panned out leave a lot of questions. Rajasthan Royals getting there on the second last delivery of their innings, thanks to Shimron Hetmyer, who seemed to be batting on a completely different wicket to what everybody else before him has batted on. Just playing that finisher's role to an absolute T, taking his side home. Um, but yeah, let's kick off with this whole batting effort by the Punjab Kings. If we can have their scorecard up there. Now, first things first, no Shikhar Dhawan, and we've been talking up Atharva Taide quite a bit in our programs. So he gets a go. And first impressions, I was quite liking what I saw with Taide. His driving through the offside was quite brilliant. Your thoughts on first
I
impressions?
think he had to play. He had to play. So I've been saying this that Atharva Taide he needs to start in that top order because Johnny Bairstow is not in great form at the moment, and Shikhar Dhawan is not scoring at 160, 170. So you need somebody in that top order who can get a kick on from over number one. And Atharva Taide is somebody who is in good touch in domestic cricket. We saw that he can play good shots. I mean, he's somebody who is technical, who can handle the new ball, and all the entire skill set of Atharva Taide, it matches what Punjab need from that top order. So I think he had to start, and it's a good decision. But it's very sad that it came after a forced decision to not start with Shikhar. I felt maybe Atharva and Shikhar both could start in next few games because Johnny Bairstow, it's not really working out for him, and there is no other designated top order batter in that team. So I felt Atharva Taide starting with him is a good decision, and I hope that they will persist with Atharva Taide, and then once Shikhar is back, they can. I mean, there is no harm in opening with two left-handers, if they can handle the off spin and all the matchups. But I think Atharva Taide, he has to start next few games, and I'm very happy that he get to start.
Yeah, I mean, he did get a good start, 15 of 12 in his first game. So, yeah, can't complain about that. But what followed after that, you've got Johnny Bairstow,
Yeah.
15 of 19 deliveries, strike rate of 78.9. Prab Simran Singh, 10 of 14, 71.4 strike rate. And then Sam Curran to follow, 6 of 10 deliveries, so a strike rate of 60. When you're in the power play, I don't mean to say that it was the easiest of pitches to bat on because it probably wasn't, but still you cannot have your number 2, 3 and 4 batters between them bat for 43 deliveries,
Yeah.
which is about 7 overs, and then give you only 31 runs. That's where that game was lost, in my opinion.
The start they gave was not a good one, to be very honest. I mean, let's not sugarcoat this. Prab Simran, I think he's not finding his rhythm, but he has been put into situations like this by the openers because they are not scoring those runs. I mean, Johnny Bairstow is your experienced overseas senior batter who you expect him to give you those quick starts, but he is not giving those starts. So it is just piling up on number 3 and number 4, and number 4 is Sam Curran, and he is also not going to give you that quick start. So it all comes down to Prab Simran and him playing those shots at the very beginning of his inning. So that is not allowing him to get in. He's just looking to hit the ball hard. He's just looking to play all the shots from ball number 1. I think that is not working out for him, and I don't think that is his natural game. His natural game is to slightly take some time and then look to hit from over number 2 or number 3, but it is not happening. So I think he is also struggling because of the cascading effect from that top 2.
Yeah, and then after that we had Jitesh Sharma walk in,
Yeah.
which I was again surprised by because Jitesh is at his best when he comes late in the order, lower down the order, and he's got the license to go after the bowling. Here he was coming up high with a lot of time left in the game, and you had people like Shashank Singh, who's played so well for Punjab in this year.
Yeah.
You had people like Liam Livingston, who's your overseas professional, who's you want him to get the maximum number of
Yeah.
balls and strike. And you held these two back and you promoted Jitesh Sharma. So I couldn't quite understand what was going on there, what the thought process was. And yes, he did score 29, but it came again of 24 deliveries, strike rate of only 120. Your thoughts on that move as well?
I don't have any issues with Jitesh coming up, but the problem is that they are sending Shashank Singh at number 6, Liam Livingston at number 7, and Ashutosh at number 8. I think these three are batting probably a position or two below their normal position where they should be coming up. I felt Jitesh could actually. I mean, look, these guys are your designated hitters. Probably they could have sent Liam Livingston up at number 4 instead of Sam Curran, and he could have accelerated a bit. That would have helped the lower order. So I think Livingston instead of Sam Curran, followed by Jitesh, Shashank, and Ashutosh. I think that's okay at this moment because again they have Prab Simran batting up at number 3. I think top 3 is not working out for them, and that is why I think their issues are becoming even more evident. That because the Sam Curran he came and played for 10 deliveries and could score only 6 runs, and after that Jitesh had to again look for quick runs right from ball number 1, and he was struggling to time the ball, and like we discussed, the pitch wasn't the best for that kind of hitting. So I think that was the case. But I feel that Livingston, if he's fit, if he's available, he should be batting at number 4. Sam Curran at number 4 is not going to work out on every day. So I think that has to be used in the situations where the oppositions they have leg spinners or left arm spinners. I think on that occasions it is fine. But on normal days, I think Liam Livingston should come at number 4.
I guess one last question on that scorecard there is, we often say this that you've got to start with your best 11. You've got to start
Yeah.
with your best 11. You've got to start with your best 11. When you're batting first, would you not start with Ashutosh Sharma?
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about a player who's absolutely set this tournament alight, who's done so much for the Punjab Kings in the little time that he's played for them. And what sort of message are you sending out to him that if the top order had worked today, we won't even include you in the 11 because then they would have probably subbed out Prab Simran and got a bowler if they had got what they wanted from their top order.
Yeah.
Is that good for a player's confidence? I mean, what does it do to someone like him?
I think it is not about confidence. I think it is just about tactics. I'll tell you what I feel about this. Atharva Taide, he is going to start because he even bowls left arm spin, so he's a handy bowler. And Johnny Bairstow, Prab Simran, and Jitesh Sharma. There are 3 wicket keepers in that team. So I think if you're starting with 3 keepers, then I think it makes sense to sub one of them out because Jitesh Sharma is going to keep for you. Then if you are going to sub out Prab Simran, then that is okay. because what they do is they look to get Ashutosh in and diss about one of the two keepers, mainly Prab Simran. So I think that's their strategy, and I think it is just tactical. Even I thought that it's not good for someone like Ashutosh Sharma to not start and always come in as an impact player. But I think if you look at this in a tactical manner, then it makes sense that they have a keeper. They have three keepers who are not going to bowl for you, so you are left with other 8 players. So I think subbing one of those keepers, mainly Prab Simran, is I think fine. So I hope they have discussed it, and with Ashutosh, and they have sorted this out.
Yeah, I've got no issues with them subbing him out. My only thing is that he's not giving you anything at this stage of the tournament. Is Prab Simran.
Yeah.
Neither is Johnny Bairstow. Ashutosh Sharma deserves to be played ahead of them in that 11, and that is the point I'm trying to make. Is you've got informed players that should be playing each and every game for you,
Yeah.
because they're the ones delivering, they're in form, they're making the runs, and yet you are kind of banking your uh, efforts onto people who are not delivering.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think
don't
it
know
is
where
mainly because these guys come before him. They bat at number 1, number 2, or number 3. They bat in top 3. So I think that's the only logic I can see in this. Otherwise, you cannot make any sense out of Ashutosh Sharma not starting in this team, because he is the one who is getting you all the runs. He is the one who is getting you closer
exactly.
to the victories.
Yeah. Right, so 147 for 8 because of Ashutosh Sharma's late flourish is what they finished on. With the bowling, of course, lots of changes in the Royal side as well today. No Joss Butler, no Ravichandran Ashwin. So yeah, we saw a slightly different attack to what we normally see
Yeah.
in their bowling. But again, Trent bowled at the start, and Avesh Khan through the middle and the death.
Yeah.
Yuzi Chahal being Yuzi Chahal, and this brilliant new addition of Keshav Maharaj, who's the more I see of him in the, white ball cricket, the more I like him, is because he's got a whole bag of tricks. And the thing I like with Keshav Maharaj is that consistency of line and length is so good. Does not give you any width, does not give you much flight to get under the ball. Just keeps it straight, keeps the batter in check at all times.
They lacked. They do not have any left arm spinner. And in the auction, I was surprised that they didn't go after any of the. I mean, there were not a lot of options available, but I felt probably they should have got somebody from that auction. There are left arm spinners available in India, so I felt they missed out on that. But again, when Zampa got injured, I felt that this is the opportunity, because Zampa and Chahal, they were never going to start with two leg spinners. So having Keshav Maharaj as coming in that squad, I think it was a tactically sound decision. And then when Keshav Maharaj is playing on such wickets, like you rightly said, his line, his consistency, everything, he's got it in him. And we have seen him perform for South Africa for years now. And now I think very late in his career, he is now looking like a very good T20 bowler as well. Because earlier we used to relate him, not exactly with T20 cricket. Now he's a very potent T20 bowler as well. So that is something he has added in his skill set.
Yeah, it's also quite fascinating to see that, with both of them turning the ball away from the right-hander, which means, they bring the ball into the left-hander.
Yeah.
And Punjab have 2 or 3 left-handers in their side. I mean, if Shikhar had played, he would have probably been the third.
And Sam Curran.
But yeah, but that also, again, we talk about that whole matchup situation, but here's a side who's saying, if you're a good bowler, you're a good bowler. We don't care if the other side has 2 or 3 left-handers. We'll still play our best bowlers. And someone like Ravichandran Ashwin, who turns the ball away, we don't know what the story there is, but he's obviously either been given a break, or just horses for courses kind of selection today. So yeah, worked really well in their favor.
Yeah.
147 for 8 is what they were set. The Royals started in fantastic fashion.
Not
as far
exactly
as
not exactly in fantastic fashion.
Yeah, I'm coming to that. I'm saying as far as Yashasvi Jaiswal is concerned. But then again, we see a bizarre move, which I think the Royals said, okay, if you guys are going to come up with bizarre decisions, we're going to match you with those. Promoting young Tanush Kotian straight as an opener. And, we've also spoken, you've spoken about Tanush Kotian because obviously the Mumbai connection. But we've said he needs a go, he should play, but we never thought he'd play as an opener
Yeah.
for Rajasthan Royals. Your thoughts on that?
I felt Tanush Kotian should have bowled 1 or 2 overs because Punjab had 2 left-handers. They had Sam Curran in the top order. When he was batting, Rajasthan actually trusted Keshav Maharaj to bowl to him. I mean, he bowled good. He bowled good lines against Sam Curran. Did not allow him to get under it, like you said. But I felt probably that was the best chance to get somebody like Tanush Kotian in that setup because the situation was tailor-made. The pitch was assisting the spinners. There was a left-handed batter who is not exactly a top-order batter who came in after fall of some quick wickets. They were lagging behind in that run rate. So I felt it was a very good opportunity which Rajasthan missed out on, and I think they did not want to mix. I mean, shuffle that batting lineup is what I heard from Sanju Samson. He said that they just wanted to continue with Sanju Samson, with that batting lineup, with Sanju Samson at 3 and Riyan Parag at 4, because these are the guys who are doing the hard work for them in that the middle order engine that we call. So I think they just wanted to keep it that way. So that was a decision. That was the thinking behind sending Tanush Kotian up. But Tanush Kotian is not somebody who is, because when he came to bat, I first felt that they are looking to set Sunil Narayan type of template here, because we know what Sunil Narayan can do, and similarly Tanush Kotian bats in a very aggressive manner in domestic cricket. But he's somebody who has never batted above number 4 or 5 position in domestic for Mumbai. He always bats at number 7, number 8, and he comes in with those aggressive shots down the order in those 16, 17, 18th over. So I think that is his normal role with Mumbai. Today, I don't think. Yesterday, I don't think they sent him with that kind of a role in their mind. I don't think they asked him to just go after the bowlers, because I saw him playing decent shots. No, not all the attacking shots were out there. So I felt they did not have any fixed role for him. They just sent him out there to keep that batting order, batting order like similar to what they had in the last few games. So tactically, I felt this was a very poor move. They could have at least asked Tanush to bat in an aggressive manner. If he loses his wicket, there's no issue. But he would have given them that flying start which they wanted. I mean, if you're chasing a sub 150 score, and if your openers give you 6 overs, 1 wicket for 60 or 65, the game is basically close inside power play. Then your middle order just has to come and play some normal cricket. But they, I think, missed out on that. I think that was a tactical blunder, sending Tanush Kotian up.
Yeah, I mean, even though he scored only 24 of the 31 balls and, the strike rate of 77.4, I guess the only saving grace for the Royals was the fact that they were chasing only 148. So it didn't hurt them as much. If you were setting a total, this kind of innings can really destroy. And we saw that with the Punjab Kings innings, but didn't really hurt them because Yashasvi Jaiswal was going good guns at the other end, which meant that the scoring was still taking care of itself. 56 of 8.2 overs was that opening partnership. So in the scheme of things, it didn't hurt the side so much. Well, what happened after that though is again the bizarre continues, because you had Sanju Samson come in, looked his normal self, started getting going. But then wickets falling at regular intervals, and a game which once looked like it was absolutely in the bag for the Royals. There was it really started getting close, and we started wondering, hang on, is this out of their reach suddenly?
Absolutely. I felt they had, when they had a target of around 148, I felt it's a cakewalk for them and their batting order. But what we saw, Sanju Samson got out after 14-15 deliveries. Riyan Parag looked set, but even he was not looking at his fluent best. We saw a catch getting dropped against. I think that should have been taken by Livingston. You expect him to take those catches. So I think that middle order never looked settled. I think they felt that pressure from that pressure from the top order, the top two. I felt they were behind. I felt they felt the need to accelerate a bit more. I don't know if they had that net run rate in their mind, but after a point, they were just about looking to close the game and get as close as possible. Because once Riyan Parag got out, I think they were in a situation where anything could have happened. And Dhruv Jurel, again, he couldn't get going. I felt they could have probably used Dhruv Jurel in that top order instead of Tanush Kotian, because even he is somebody who is now looking to get some minutes under his belt. And even he's now looking like he's not looking like the Jurel from last season. So I felt that it
Yeah.
was a missed opportunity again. And I think once these guys got out, it again came down to that finisher, West Indian finisher that we are now saying it is becoming a trend in IPL that West Indies guys they are coming in and just finishing the game. So thankfully for them, Shimron Hetmeyer and Roman Powell were there.
Yeah, I mean, we'll come back to Shimron and Rahman Paul, but yeah, I just wanted to touch on that point wherein two things that we don't normally see or haven't seen is we haven't seen Riyan Parag throw it away this season after being set. This situation this season, if Riyan Parag is set, he takes his side home. That's the kind of reputation he's building for himself. So he'll be disappointed with that. And yeah, you rightly pointed out about Dhruv Jurel that because he's not had a whole lot of chances this season because of the fact that Sanju Samson and Riyad Parag have been doing all the scoring, so he's not really getting opportunities. And then on a day like this, when he comes in, that won't do his confidence much good either. He would have been better off coming, facing the new ball when it's hard and new, coming onto the bat better, and trying to play in the power play because let's face it, I'm sure in his heart of hearts, he's also thinking about that T20 World Cup and trying to stake a claim, but just needs to be given probably a bit more opportunity by his franchise. Um, yeah, coming to that finish, we saw every batters pretty much struggle except for Ashutosh Sharma in the first innings. And then comes Shimron Hetmeyer and Roman Powell, as if they're batting on a different wicket. The only one point I'd like to make on Shimron's innings is I don't think he hit a single ball in the middle of the bat because they all looked like they were either on the inside half or the outside half or whatever. But he's just got so much power in his shots that they were still carrying. And yeah, that's what I guess power does is even if you mistime it, it still had enough legs on it to take
Yeah,
it either across the boundary or over it.
yeah,
Um, Roman Powell, on the other hand, came and hit two cracking cover drives.
yeah,
Like those were the best shots I've seen all day today. And the way he hit them, and at the right time as well. But yeah, Shimron Hetmeyer in that last over, um, just getting the better of Harshdeep Singh,
yeah.
who until those
That
sixes
moment,
were hit,
yeah, yeah.
I just got the feeling that this could be the day that Arshdeep turns it around. But yeah, defending 10 in a last over is always
Yeah,
difficult.
Ashdeep bowled two dot balls to start that over. So the pressure was on Shimron Hetmeyer because they needed 10 from 4 balls. And then when you need 10 from 4 and you do not have a recognized batsman at the other end because Keshav Maharaj was batting at the other end. So at that time, you cannot hit for singles and twos. That option is blocked for you. You just have to look for two is still fine, but you have to look for boundaries at that time. So he was under a lot of pressure. I mean, he just stepped out and hit that six. I think it was a very timely hit, and that took all the pressure off. I think that was a very, very critical moment in the game.
Yeah, I think that 19.4 delivery where they got a couple and Sam Curran
Yeah,
actually misfielded a bit on the boundary
yeah,
might have just cost them because if
yeah.
that had been kept down to a one, you
Yeah.
never know what could have happened.
Yes.
But in the end, Rajasthan Royals, breaking the curse of losing back-to-back matches and finally pulling up their socks after that loss that they had in their previous game.
Yeah.
For the Punjab Kings, obviously you've got uh, figures there for Sam Curran, 2 for 25, which were good. Kagiso Rabada once again turning up, brilliant opening spell by him, 2 for 18. And that is where I think Tanush Kotian found it really hard against the likes of,
Yeah.
when you haven't played international class bowlers
Yeah.
and you're being sent as the sacrificial lamb at the top of the order, you're going to kind of struggle. So, Arshdeep Singh has played for India,
Yeah.
Kagiso Rabada is an international cricketer, Sam Curran's an international cricketer. So you had to face three of them in that power play.
Yeah.
And that's what I think he found really tough. Um, Anything of note for you on that bowling card, Sarvesh?
I just felt Liam Livingston, I think he did a good job in that top order because they needed somebody to bowl those few economical overs. And he, in fact, was bowling against Sanju Samson, Riyank Parag. I think he did a very good job there. I think if he's fit and available, he adds multiple dimensions to that the Punjab Kings attack. So I think it was uh, I mean, he came back, and it really helped Punjab. They will hope that he will continue his bowling form, and they will hope for more batting contributions from him. But I hope they send him up at number 4, not at number 6 or number 7. So Liam Livingstone coming back is a very good sign for Punjab. And I think the rest of the bowlers are pretty much Harpreet Brar once again economical. And Kagiso Rabada, I think he was brilliant. 14 dots out of 24, considering just 18 for 2 wickets. He was very good. Once again, Harshal Patel and that I think 18th over or
I think he bowled
17th
a
over.
90.
Yeah,
He
that
bowled a
was the
19th, I think. Yeah.
that was the over I think
Yeah.
which brought Rajasthan back in the game, because I felt Punjab were ahead at that moment. So yeah, Harshal Patel again, it is not looking very good for him. He's probably could have bowled better on this wicket, which had grip, and the boundaries were longer. We always talk about long boundaries, pitches which have enough grip for the bowlers. I felt this pitch suited Harshal Patel, but I think it didn't come off for him.
Yeah. So all in all, Punjab Kings, again another close game, but not managing to get over the line. I think if they don't make it to the playoffs, and it looks quite difficult if they keep losing games like this, which they should kind of be winning.
Yeah.
Um, they might look back at this season and see those key moments. That game against the Sunrisers where they fell short by 2 runs.
2 runs, yeah.
This game, which today they have lost on the second last delivery of the match.
Yeah.
That is the hallmark of champion sides. Is they will, when they are in with a chance,
Yeah.
they kind of grab it and make it happen,
Yeah.
rather than rue over lost chances, which is what is happening with Punjab. As you can see, the 8th on that league table. 6 matches played, only 2 wins, 4 losses, which means they are in the same boat as Delhi, and in a slightly better boat than what Bengaluru find themselves in.
Yeah.
The net run rate is also negative. So yeah, it's going to be a long road back for them again in that situation where they need to win 6 out of their remaining 8, and that's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Rajasthan, they were 4 out of 4. They became 4 out of 5, and now they are 5 out of 6, which means they're on 10 points. They need to win probably just another 3 of their remaining 8 games, which is going to be very, very easy for them with the side that they have. And yeah, things looking good as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, 3 games. If they win 3 games, they will be in top 4. If they win probably 4, if they win 5, then they are in that top 2 for sure, because 20 points normally
Yeah,
get you to top 2. So
get you
they
to top
need
2.
to
Yeah.
win 5 matches in next how many 8 matches to get into that top 2. So I think Rajasthan, if they play normal cricket, I think they should be in top 2, at least on the second position. So yeah, things are looking good for Rajasthan.
Absolutely. Right, we've got the Super Sunday today. 2 matches back to back, lots of action. What have we got?
First match between KKR and Lucknow. I think KKR will hope that they will open their account today against Lucknow. They haven't won against them. 3 matches played. And all 3 matches were won when Lucknow was batting first, and they had that typical 160 plus record that was just broken by Delhi. So in those 3 matches, you will see 176, 210. I think that's a very good record to have against any team. If you're not allowing your opponents to win, then it's a good record.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you look at the history of the venue, then it's Eden Gardens. There will be runs scored, plenty of runs scored on that at that venue. And I just wanted to point out one thing. If you look at that average winning score, which is 213, you never see such high scores, because last few games the teams who were winning while batting first, they are always putting up scores above 200. If you look at those scores, only once 176 for 8 wickets was happened last season. Apart from that score, 208, 235, 228, 204, 207, 232, 213,
Yeah.
218. All the 200 scores have been defended, and anything below that has been chased comfortably, except for that last game, LSG versus KKR game last season. So I think this tells you that when you are batting first on this wicket, you have to put on a very good total, 200 at least. And average score itself on this ground is pretty high for first innings, around 195. That tells you there will be runs scored today.
Yeah, and I think another factor that comes into play at Eden Gardens is dew,
Yeah,
because you need a big score because you need a cushion to
yeah,
counter for the wetness of the ball,
yeah.
which comes into play quite a bit in Calcutta.
Yeah. Also, the
Um,
toss will play a role today because there are three day-night matches played on this ground. The ones highlighted in yellow are the day-night matches. I'm sorry, the day matches, which started at 4 o'clock, and all those matches have been won by teams chasing.
yeah,
And teams, I mean, this is the trend that we normally see when you're playing in that day game. The teams chasing, they normally find it better because at the start the pitch might grip a bit, but when it later in the game it becomes slightly easier to bat. So I think toss will also play a critical role, but whoever bats first anyway will have to put on a good total.
I guess to summarize, KKR have never beaten LSG, so they'll be looking to break that trend.
Yeah,
History tells us that it's quite a one-sided contest between the two as well, with the winning margin being comfortable of 26 runs.
yeah,
Average overs played to chase the target is only 18.3, so that also tells me that it's a comfortable victory at the Eden Gardens. But the KKR side of this season is in form and they're looking good, so we hope that we get to see a good game
yeah,
wherein they break that trend or at least come close, which
yeah.
will give us the contest that we want.
Yes.
Um, Match number two, probably the biggest encounter of IPL 2024 so far.
Yep.
Five times champions Mumbai Indians, Sarvesh's Mumbai Indians, and five times champions Chennai Super Kings, both locking heads. And as you can see from that head to head, not much to choose between the two. 7 wins for Mumbai, 5 wins for the CSK. Sarvesh, you must be really excited and looking forward to a mouth-watering contest.
Yes, I mean this is the game we all we call this as El Clasico. Something like this happens in the Spanish football when Barcelona and Real Madrid they meet together.
Yeah,
That's the magnitude of this game. And if you have noticed already that these two teams are going to play only once this season. So unless they make it to top four, they are not going to face each other. There are no chances that they will play each other. And that makes this encounter even more special that they are not going to play again this season. So that is one thing that I wanted to highlight. And I mean, if you're a CSK fan, then you know that there is only one team which has won more matches against you. So that is also one thing that uh, which is there with Mumbai and CSK. That Mumbai is the only team who have won more matches against them. Now, what we are seeing right now is the record from I think last 20 since 2018 2019. So since 2019,
2019.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mumbai have won 7, CSK 5. But if you look at the that 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 graphic, you will realize that last 5 matches, 4 have been won by CSK. That tells you that CSK have been that having that upper hand against Mumbai Indians in last few games. And if you now look at the overall record, overall history of this game, there are 36 matches played, and still Mumbai have got slightly upper hand there. Won 20 matches against CSK, but I think overall this there is not a lot to pick from these two teams. Mumbai have of course won a few finals against CSK. That also helps them to prepare for this game mentally. But I think what has happened has happened. These two teams will be playing against each other in Hardik Pandya and Ruturaj Gaikwad's captaincy. So there is no more Rohit Sharma against MS Dhoni. So it's a very different encounter, different looking encounter this time, and I think they are both are looking to start fresh. I think this could be the new era of new era of same rivalry rather.
yeah. I guess when you're looking at a tournament over 16, 17 years, and still they're pretty neck to neck, that just
Yeah,
tells you that we're looking at the two premier sides. Mind you, we have to remember CSK weren't playing for a couple of years in
yeah,
between,
yeah,
which meant that that could have been 2020 for all we know,
yeah,
head to head. But yeah, I mean, we've seen what CSK, they're like a well-oiled machine. They've got their team sorted. It's just a matter of all those pieces of the puzzle coming together and performing. Mumbai, on the other hand, with that rough start, now they've come out and they've put a couple of wins on the board,
yeah.
looking good. Playing at home, you'd think would be advantage Mumbai because
No, I don't think it's advantage Mumbai because in that CSK team, you have Shivam Dubey, you have Ajinkya Rahane, you have Tushar Deshpande and Shardul Thakur. These guys have played
All
and
Mumbai girls.
exactly
Yeah.
these guys have played and grown up on that Mumbai pitch, Wankhede pitch. So even these guys must be feeling like at home. MS playing at Wankhede, we don't need to speak more about it. So all this, all these factors, I don't think CSK will feel that they are in an unfamiliar territory, and they have defeated Mumbai at Wankhede a few times. So I think both teams should feel full confidence. I don't think CSK will feel that they are not playing against Mumbai at Chennai, because even this is a happy hunting ground for them. So yeah, I think both teams should be, I think, roaring to go up against each other.
My player to watch out for that game is going to be Daryl Mitchell, because I'll tell you why. The last time he played at the 1KD, he had an absolute phenomenal century there. And I spoke to him after the game and I said, "What is it? How was the innings and stuff like that?" And Daryl said to me, "Mate, I'd love to take this pitch everywhere I go. It is such a beautiful pitch to bat on." He said if every pitch could be like the 1KD pitch with the pace and the bounce on it, which just helps you
Yeah.
get under the ball, he said I'd love to take this everywhere. So watch out, and I'm sure we'll see something special from him today. But yeah, so really exciting stuff coming up. Anything else that we need to touch base on before we go, Sarvesh?
Yeah. So first thing is the bowling leaderboard. We have Yuzi Chahal
Yes.
got back his purple cap yesterday, and Jasprit Bumrah and Mustafizur Rahman. These guys are going to play today. So they are on 10 and 9 wickets. So they could again regain that purple cap back. There are also Gerald Coetzee at number 9 with 8 wickets. He's not too far behind. So these three
Yep.
guys will be looking to go up on the top of that list. And just one more thing, not a lot to discuss in the batting leaderboard, because things are looking settled there. Virat Kohli, Riyan Parag, Sanju Samson, these guys are still maintaining in that their positions in the
Yep.
top three. Not a lot to discuss there. But one thing probably is about, I don't know. I mean, I've probably not put this in the stream, but I think about the average scores at the venue, I felt Wankhede started that encounter due to that encounter versus Mumbai again Mumbai against RR encounter. I think the average scores have been pretty low. It looks like they are mid-tablish around 180, 190. But I think with Wankhede we always see high scoring encounters. So I think that is something that we may see getting corrected today, because of that one game, that average scores of Wankhede are coming down. So I think we have to look at that stat. Maybe we will have a very high scoring game today, and those numbers will again start looking good. That's one thing.
Yeah. I guess one thing to talk about from my end, if we go back to that bowlers leader chart that you had with Yuzi Chahal leading the rankings, lot of talk. I heard a commentator and a very well-renowned commentator I think it was Michael Hussey or someone during the game yesterday say that I think Yuzi Chahal has already got a boarding pass for the T20 World Cup. Now, big strong words coming
Yeah,
from a commentator with of stature like him. Um, is it that straightforward though? Because
no,
Yuzi Chal's never played a World Cup for
yeah,
India, and we know he does well in IPLs all the time. I mean, this is not a surprise that he's doing well in the IPL. Um, but his problem has never been performing in the IPL. The
yeah,
problem's been that when he goes on international duty, he's been found wanting in on more occasions than one.
yeah.
Your thoughts on Yuzi Chal and his chances of making that team?
I was listening to Simon Dool, and he made a very good point that Yuzi Chahal in that team is not fighting against Kuldeep Yadav. So it's not about Kuldeep or Yuzi Chahal, because Kuldeep is somebody who has nailed on his position. We have seen his importance and the way he's bowling right now. I think he's India's best bowler. It's fair to say that he's bowling at his peak, and he's India's best bowler right now. Best wicket taking options in that middle over. So I think his boarding pass is already printed, is what Simon Dull said. I completely agree with that. So Yuzi Chahal in that team is basically fighting out against Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja. These guys are going to spin it away from the right handers. So he is fighting against these two players who are good all rounders, who are going to give you batting depth to that batting as well. So that is one thing which is working against Yuzi Chahal there. I tend to agree with this analysis. I think Kuldeep is nailed on. Yuzi can go, but he will have to go as a third spinner. But in that case, they will have to drop one of Akshar Patel or Jadeja, because in that squad of 15, I think you cannot take more than 3 spinners if you're going to territories like West Indies or US. I mean, yeah, the pitches could be slow. We have heard that there will be some dry pitches, but you will still need a good amount of seamers in your side. So I think that is one thing which we need to consider, that it may not happen again for UZ, but he is doing all the hard work, and he's competing against Jadeja, Akshar Patel, and all the spinners in that team. So I think he's doing a good job till now.
It's fascinating because we talk about Kuldeep's place being nailed, even though he spins the ball into a right-hander,
Yeah.
and m- you have more right-handers in the opposition than you have left-handers most of the times. But we talk about matchups and we talk about this and that, but yet we say when it comes down to Kuldeep and a right-hander doesn't make a difference. He has got
Yeah,
that skill set to
exactly.
to counter any kind of
Any. Exactly.
right-hander, left-hander. He still bowls well.
Exactly.
So yeah, a good bowler at the end of the day is a good bowler, and regardless of who the batter is, he can still find ways of getting them out. And Kuldeep just shows us that.
Yeah.
Fascinating to talk about it though, and we will talk more about it probably next weekend when we come to the halfway stage of the IPL. We are
Yeah.
planning a special wherein we will kind of put out our T20 World Cup 15. We'll choose a squad of 15 um, based on the performances that we've seen in the IPL so far. And then we'll revisit those selections at the end of the IPL just before the team is announced. But the selectors are not going to wait that long, obviously, because they have to get the teams in before the end of the IPL, which is why we're doing that ourselves when we do it next weekend. So do watch out for that. We'll provide you some information on that. If you've got any questions, keep firing them our way. We'll probably be doing lives after most games now. So yeah, log in, let us know what you think, and if you got any questions, throw them our way. Follow us on our X profile and on Instagram, as well as our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, do that. And yeah, keep liking, keep sharing, keep giving us feedback. Any closing comments, Sarvesh, or are we good and all set for this exciting Super Sunday to unfold?
Yeah. You're good to go. 2 big matches. Hoping for good games.
Absolutely. Mumbai needing the win more than CSK, and KKR really wanting to break that voodoo of LSG. So we look forward to that. We'll be back tomorrow at the end of those games. Tomorrow for me, today for Sarvesh, tonight rather. And yeah, we'll come back to you and we'll talk about all that action. Until then, thanks for watching, and we will be in touch very shortly. Thank you.